With Deathmatch now a mode in Valorant, players will be able to queue up and practice their skills. But how do you properly practice on Deathmatch? You might think just going into DM and killing your enemy team is simple, but there's a lot of mechanics that you want to work on that you might not be aware of. Here's our tips for improving your game with Deathmatch.
Auf Wiedersehen!
Our first tip is about your mindset, your strategy, your mentality when jumping into Deathmatch. You want to completely forget about running around, going for top score, winning the game. Instead, focus on building those fundamentals. Fundies are all it's about. Pick a goal and stick to it. Don't worry about getting killed from behind, your score, or losing your battles, because this is all about repetition of skill and building muscle memory. Deathmatch is practice. These are drills. As competitive as we all are, this isn't the mode to let emotions get in your way. Stay calm, keep trying. Now let's dive into more specific skills to work on. Crosshair placement should be the first thing to work on. Whenever you're moving around, you want to keep your crosshair at head level. This mechanic helps you get kills faster by already being in the right spot to shoot enemies. You don't have to move your mouse. Imagine a player being right in front of you or getting ready to peek a corner. Then move your crosshair to be right where their head would be at. Next, start clearing angles with this mechanic already in your brain. Check your corners and remember, aim first, then shoot. Practice this technique enough and it just becomes second nature. As you move around the map, your crosshair will be placed in the right spot. Now let's move on to the next tip. Now that you have crosshair placement down, you need to follow up placement with proper shooting. With your crosshair at head level, your first few shots should line up near the head, going for the headshot. But if you miss, then you need to start transferring your shots accordingly. You'll want to pull down with your shot so that if you're spraying at a target, the bullets will come down as the recoil goes up. This helps those bullets try to connect with the head again or even into the body. In some situations, going for the short burst instead of the full spray can help when going for that headshot. Really pay attention to how you're shooting and keep adjusting until you're consistently hitting players. Some of the easy issues to iron out are pulling your shot down too early, the range at which you're shooting from, either too short or too far, gaining inaccuracy from moving while shooting, and even having your mouse sensitivity too low or too high. Practice with every gun at different ranges. Try spraying, single tapping, and bursting at enemies. Practicing the multiple firing techniques of the rifle can help elevate all skills when looking to frag out. Being aware of all these variables and being aware of how good you are at controlling these variables will be the key to landing your shots. You need to remember that Deathmatch and Competitive are completely different game modes. You want to use Deathmatch as a way to improve your aim and get kills faster. That's what's going to transfer to Competitive. In Deathmatch, you want to act as if you're the entry fragger, meaning you're the first to engage. In Deathmatch, you want to seek out your enemies. You don't want to sit in corners waiting for players to come to you. That can be effective in Competitive, but your goal in Deathmatch is really just to work on your fundies, your crosshair placement, your shooting, you know the drill. Listen, consistency is important when improving skills. However, too much Deathmatch can start negatively impacting your game. You'll get into the rhythm of Deathmatch and your game will be off when you go into Competitive or even unrated. You'll be too fast, too furious. Use Deathmatch as a warm-up and a practice tool, but not for too long. You want to get to a point where you're not even thinking about your aiming and it's all subconscious. Once you feel like you've improved, then go into unrated or competitive mode to test yourself. Remember that this takes time. Keep practicing until you are comfortable with your mechanics. Everyone learns at different rates, so don't play the comparison game. You will grow, and if you start feeling rusty in these areas, don't hesitate to go back and practice. Be a lifelong learner. No pro is too pro to practice. Once you've improved on these techniques, then start working on other areas of the game. Learn your movement, learn your abilities, learn your lineups, etc. Practice makes perfect. With our tips, we know that you can improve your game using Deathmatch. Let us know what helped you out in the comments. And as always, stay tuned for more here at Giant Slayer.